Building in Lagos State, Nigeria, it's entirely a total waste of resources and money. Do not consider building in Lagos State, Nigeria. I repeat, don't ever build in Lagos State, Nigeria, be it a commercial structure or a private structure, because it's entirely a waste of resources. Yes, in turn, Lagos State government would definitely take over those properties or even destroy them, leaving you empty-handed, as you have constantly seen on the social media or on the news. The Eti Osa case is a more recent one, where the state government destroyed over 280 structures with the claim that some of those structures were built right at the waterfront, or they did not pass the structural text, the authorized structural text. That was the claim they put forward. And also that some of them were built on the drainage channels. Yes, leaving people to go empty-handed after all their sweat. Anyway, guys, this has been the common notion on social media. Yes, what people say all the time: don't build in Lagos State, Nigeria. Even on some of my videos, the comment section, people have always said, don't build in Nigeria, especially in Lagos. I've got several questions. I wish I could put some of the screenshots here. Yes. However, my name is Chinyere Ojike. Welcome to my channel. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and keep coming back for more. Yes. Are you considering building in Nigeria? I was in Nigeria recently. That was about 2 months ago for summer holiday. Yes, if I hadn't traveled to Nigeria, I wouldn't have been here talking about this. But I am here to share my experience with you, what I witnessed with my own koro naked eye, whether I would encourage anybody to build in Lagos State, Nigeria or not. Because I spent almost 3 weeks in Lagos, if not more than that, in Lagos. I spent 4 weeks in Lagos, Nigeria, and about 10 days in Delta State. So before we traveled, somebody told me a story about why he was planning to sell the 2 plots of land he recently acquired in Lagos State, Nigeria. It was as a result of the recent case or cases of Lagos State government, destroying people's property with the claim that those properties were built on the waterfront or drainage channels and a whole lot of stuff. Some of them didn't pass the structural authorization test, as they claimed in their write-up. So this person actually acquired this 2 plots of land this very year. So he was going to sell them. Then I traveled to Nigeria and came back. Did you know exactly what I told this person ever before I returned to Nigeria? Yes, I reminded the person the story the person shared with me about the dad who worked in one of the biggest construction company in Nigeria, Costain. All of you know, many of you would know that company in Lagos, Nigeria. The dad worked there early 80s and 90s as a senior manager. Yes, unfortunately, the dad did not have any property in Lagos. And as at then, those senior white men that the dad was working with were telling them, the Nigerian workers, to please take whatever they would like to take, building materials, to go erect their own structures, But the dad was actually scared of the war, breaking up as at that time. And considering the Biafran war, blah, 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 what happened, that if he ever did that, definitely they're going to take over that property when there is anything like war outbreak or the state government asking the Easterners to go back. So the dad did not have any property as a senior manager in Costain. Nothing. His mates then were building, they have their own, even in Festac they have property, but the dad didn't want to. And they were just there in a flat in Lagos State, So I reminded this guy, I said, how long has this been? Your dad left Lagos State and retired afterwards in your own village, and he didn't have nothing to show after working for several years there in Costain. Now, you recently acquired 2 plots of land and you are planning to sell off those 2 plots of land because of all this crisis, all this election crisis that has been happening, property destruction in Lagos, and Igbos should go, these people should go, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I doubt you really want to end up like your dad, who didn't have any investment or a property in Lagos before ever he retired to the east. Now, I was in Lagos, Nigeria. I stayed in this very mansion. Just look at the mansion here. This is a mansion, a rented mansion. Yes, not owned by the person I stayed with, my younger brother. But then, I was opportune one morning, thanks goodness, I was opportune to have followed my brother to a site. I was actually going to buy something from a Bano supermarket. He decided to give me a lift. Piam, he drove me to a site where one of his friends was building 12 structures in Lagos State, Nigeria. 12 good different structures, build and buy. An Igbo man, precisely, who was living abroad. He was living in China. He had lived in China for several years, and this particular guy is also from my place. So when I met him, it has been several years ago. My brother was like, let's go and greet him as well. He's his colleague and blah, blah, blah. Sorry guys, this is Gafford night. They are just blasting fireworks everywhere. Sorry about the noise. So 12 good structures. I walked around the structure. I wish it occurred to me to like film that particular site isn't this guy's first, second, third, fifth site. An Igbo man living in Lagos, and Lagos is still on fire, as in people are saying, the government is saying, or people are claiming that the government or even our Lagosians would send the southeasterners away, the middle belt away from their state and take over whatever. I began to ask myself certain questions. My kid brother, his last time, he lived in China for many years, and in 2018, yes, I remember him, he parked his car in my compound at Agor Palace Way in Lagos State then. We had a large compound, so he parked his car, bought all them Nigerian food stuff, including yam, gare, because his Chinese wife is that homely one that cooks a lot. He likes Nigerian food. So he packed all these things. He was going to travel to China. Guess what happened? He flew all the way from Nigeria, arriving Benji. Is it Benji Airport or Benji? Sorry, I can't say that any better. The wife and his two kids, Little Choma and Arinze, they were already at the arrival waiting for their dad, my immediate kid brother, to come out so that they could embrace him. Guess what? They turned my brother back. That was how he returned. He didn't get to meet with his family. He came back to Nigeria, took his car from my house. Since 2018 up to this date, he has not gone back to China. He has a business in China, or businesses in China, because he has a structure where he's renting out in China. He has a business. The wife is managing that business in China. Currently, it's not as if he doesn't have paper to go back to China, but he says he doesn't want to go back to China again. He was so pained, so disappointed, So when I returned to Nigeria, I was just staying in his house. And he told me that, look, that he doesn't think that anything would make him go abroad and live for 1 year, 6 months, 2 years again. That everything is in Nigeria. And I agreed with him. He told me that he was just wasting his time in China. Look at him. Though he's into real estate in Nigeria, he said he cannot do that again. That if you come back home, you meet with responsible people, you would see that there is money in Nigeria. If you want to travel to any country of the world on holiday, he goes to Turkey. He's been to Germany since then. Anywhere he wants to travel to, he travels and returns to Nigeria. This is okay, look at me. I'm talking about my immediate younger brother. So just imagine his age. He's not even up to 40. So this is it. You do not think of investments with fear. Why? Because you brought nothing into this life, and empty-handed you would go. Even those investments you have made, or the structures you have erected in your village or anywhere you have built a house, as time goes on, when you have finished your business on X. You go, you don't go with them, isn't it? So you don't say because Lagos State government is destroying properties, is destroying that, therefore you're not going to buy any plot of land, you're not going to invest in Nigeria, you are not going to do this because of that, because of fear. So I can assure you that the fear of not taking risk is an invitation to failure. Yes, you will begin to regret in time to come. If I had known, I should have. I've even seen those comments in my comment section. Somebody was talking about there was a time he wanted to buy this, but he was scared. But now those places have appreciated. A plot of land is not how many thousand. Because of fear, you refuse to make that move. People are still surviving in Nigeria. I did not only end up sitting in that mansion at my brother's place. I visited somebody in the same lake living in her own house, her own mansion as well. And she talked to me about other places she has properties, surviving in Nigeria and living big. Goes to Obodo Yibo, flies to abroad on holiday. Why are we Nigerians abroad scared of returning home, not even coming to stay permanently, scared of investing back home? We, the youths, will usually forget that the firewood we fetched during our youthful life is the firewood that we would use to make fire during our old age. Yes, at a certain point in your life, you might no longer be working, the strength will not be there, your retirement age. Those things that you'll be enjoying are the things that you put in place, the resources you put in place when you are still strong. We live abroad, we buy mortgage houses in abroad. Obviously, if you do not do any will it to your children. Even if you do, when you are no longer here, the government will take over that property, especially if you did not will it. Correct me if I'm not saying something right, So it's still the same. You are coming from somewhere, which is your home. Though some people tend to say, wherever they die, let them bury them there. Just like one of my brothers would always say, because he's so comfortable abroad. But home remains home. Your color still differentiates you from wherever you are. I know those living in the US, the life is quite different because about 60 or when you come to color comparison, it might be 50-50, 50 black, 50 white, or I don't know, help me to correct that in the comment section. But that notwithstanding, do not forget where you are coming from. My village, my local village, yes, somebody was asking me why didn't I visit my village when I returned to Nigeria during last summer. Yes, I must say this, my parents are no more, my both parents, may their soul rest in peace. Amen. So, who exactly am I going to look for in my village? Meanwhile, my village is the most terrorized place. This insecurity in Nigeria. Ata Olu, Omotanze, Okporo. If you're from these places, I don't know. Okporo area, for those of you that are from Imo State, my place is constantly on fire. I cannot say Nigerian soldier because most of the young boys in my area, they decided to join this Ebu Bago. Some of them fortified themselves. How did I know? Somebody very related to me was recently gone down. Why? Because when I asked the other brother of his, he said yes, that he was among the member of all this Ebubago, and he has all this mark, all this Odeshi stuff everywhere on his body, tattooed on his body. So when the soldiers came, he took off from where he was walking. They ran after him. He tried to jump the fence. They shot him severally. And that was how that little boy, though he has a wife, not little, just that I'm older than him, that was how he lost his life, killed by the Nigerian soldiers. Because a lot has been happening in my place. People have been running away from the king of my community was the head off, and they brought him to the marketplace. A whole king. Okay, talk about what would happen to others if they were able to apprehend a king of my community. Recently, you must have seen that video on social media. A guy that was celebrating the twin babies' dedication in my village. What happened? They came there, attacked that house, they destroyed everything. The rice and stew were mixed together. They took the meat that they were frying, they set the house ablaze. Thank God that I don't know how they managed to have escaped with the kids or the twins. You know, it was on social media. I have the video. My village, go. You know, so a lot have been happening there. But guess what? My village is the most underdeveloped in Imo State. If you ask me, I haven't been to most places. But as far as I know, my village is very local. My husband's village is more developed. You know, but people are still building in my village. People are still erecting beautiful structures in my village. Despite all that, a young man came from abroad last week, slept in my village for 3 days. You know, this has been a place where people in that village, they run away, the men, they go, they sleep in the bushes and all them stuff because of the fear of being attacked. But the young boys in my community are also into something that I do not understand. Sorry to say this, but that's the truth. We know the truth and say the truth and shame the devil. You know, and they are just losing their lives gradually because they claim to be Ebubago this, Ebubago. We want our freedom as well. Yes, I am pro-Biafran. If that happens, good and fine. But referendum or dialogue should be the best way to get this, not war. Forgive me if you are speaking otherwise, or if you are for otherwise, and I am against war. Yes, because any life lost is not gained. Yes, so I still stand if you want to invest in Lagos, Nigeria, any part of the country in Nigeria. In fact, I was absolutely marveled by the number of structures I saw within the area where I stayed in Lekki and the places I visited. Asaba, not exempted. When I went to Asaba, that place is just new. But the structures, the street alignment and everything, I was like, who are the people building all these mansions? Are they people in Nigeria or foreigners who came to our country, states, Delta states, to start building this kind of houses? Where are they getting the money? Somehow, somebody over there sending this money for them to build. I still see people in some of the mansions. I say, wow, this is entirely a hideout. And guess what? Where I stayed in Lekki, 247 light. Once the NEPA takes the light, they switch over to the estate. In fact, it doesn't take time. You know, in one of my videos, you saw when they took the light and the light came back immediately. In Asaba, I made a video about the house store. Once that solar energy is what is trended in Nigeria now, put solar energy in your house. If you don't want to stay there, good, rent it out. Have something there, have something here. The recent deportation in the UK happened. The crisis in August happened when they say people like us should leave because of that incident that happened in Sheffield. You know, we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. At least you have something to fall back on in case of the unforeseen happens. Yes, because had I known, it's always something that comes at last. Yes, take risk. Life is all a risk. Driving a car is a risk. Owning a house is a risk. When I left for Saudi Arabia, I sold my Honda Pilot Jeep, my first car. Guess what? I put that money into... I thought I bought a plot of land in Enugu State, Nigeria. But today, that was in 2018. But today I cannot tell you that that plot of land is mine. Government also destroyed people's property in Enugu, in the eastern part of Nigeria. They did, you know. So I cannot say that plot of land belongs to me because I don't have it, even though I have the papers. But every time they keep on telling us that government that, so do not put your mind in storage. You know, a whole lot. People's container fall into the deep blue sea or deep sea, and they still live their life. You know, moving forward. That's why you should not have one. You should not have two. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Make it practical when you are doing your investment or acquiring properties in life. It's not just one, it's not just two, because you never can tell what would happen to one if you are holding on to just one egg. Once it breaks, yakata, it is gone. You know, but to be honest, there is no amount of money that I would lose in this life that would shake me, There is nothing that would happen to me apart from death of somebody, a loved one, but any other thing is, hence it is something that has to do with money, property acquisition. But another thing I want to say, when you are acquiring a property, ensure that you have all the documents. Yes, buy from there, especially the company. I advertise the company here, P1. They are legit. They give you details of assignment, C of O, and a whole lot of documentation that they will do for you, so that you are sure that yes, you have this. Buying a land from a family, community, it's not guaranteed, because this person might come up and said, I did not agree. Yes, my brother sold the land, they never told me. My mother sold the land, they never told me. My stepmother, that is the worst set of people to buy land from. Unless you are sure that the whole family, they have their signature in the papers and said, yes, all of us agreed this land can go to you. So I have this big mind when it comes to investments. One, risk. Yes, think risk first and be ready to say whatever that happens, you are good to move forward. Yes, my family is business oriented. My brother, the one that single-handedly paid my tuition fee in the UK, honestly, he's several at times he has business losses, but he never died. He keeps moving. He keep on going, moving ahead. He will talk about it, and if he tells you thousands of dollars that he lost, and then he's still strong. So I borrowed some wisdom from him. No matter what I would lose in this life, hence it is not life. Honestly, life goes on. Yes, Lagos State is still a short place, even though that Lagos is saturated. Other parts of Nigeria, they are worth exploring, Yes, Port Harcourt is there, Cross River is there, Enugu State, Imo State, Owerri is there, Kaduna, anywhere better, that business is booming or where you can invest and get something in turn. Do it. Yes, even if you want to invest in agriculture, is a sure way, but make sure that you are present to watch the business grow. Also endeavor to know a little bit about what you are going into, because if you don't know nothing about the kind of investment you are venturing into, you just leave people to manage it from start to finish, it's gonna crash. Okay, it will be shaky and not balancing, so this is why it is important for you to know a little of anything before venturing into it. Thank you once again for watching. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and keep coming back for more. Bye for now.